Good morning to you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Let's wait for see if we can get more people on the feed so we can start. Good day to you also. God bless everybody. And God bless everyone. Let's wait for some people on the feed so we can start. Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing? I am Oscar Blue for Border Network News and America's Voice. God bless every single one of you. God bless my country of Mexico, my city. Also, God bless the United States of America. Let's thank God for another day to give us 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 hands, a heart that we can feel, and a mind that we can think, and eyes that we can see. God bless every single one of you. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, people. And my God, we waited for the whole weekend, and this is Friday. So God bless every single one of you. Let's start. Let's start with our news. We have 3 topics to talk about that they're really important in international news. First of all, Joseph Lando. You guys know who Joseph Lando is, right? Is the ambassador of the United States in Mexico. And Joseph Lando just gave a statement, and my God, it compromises the president of Mexico like you don't even imagine. This rain of accusations to the president of Mexico are well deserved. And I will tell you, this socialist president that we have of Mexico, and it's you know, emphatic, and you know, and his demonic movement of socialism, and being so stubborn on continuing with this policy. Joseph Lando, the ambassador of the United States, gave a statement yesterday saying that the president of Mexico, he is a liar, that he's not respecting the international agreements. Before he came into the presidency, Joseph Lando had a meeting with him, and the government of the United States had a meeting with him, and they told him, you know, there's a lot of investment from the United States in Mexico. There's a lot of investment. So we need to respect the international trade and the international agreements that have been done in the past administration and in this administration, that they are profiting to the United States in, you know, in a fair manner, you know, equal manner. So Joseph Lando had that meeting with the now president of Mexico, and the government of the United States had a meeting with the government of Mexico. They sat down and talked about, you know, this particular subject, that is the international trade and also the international agreements, before he came into office, the President AMLO. So what is happening now, that Joseph Lando knows that international trade, the international treaty that is coming next Wednesday, and it's going to start next Wednesday between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and they already having fallouts. And Joseph Lando says the president of Mexico, he is a liar. He's not respecting our international treaties. He's not respecting the international trade. He has a -1% increase, -1% increase of the economy. He is not respecting anything. He is a liar. So practically, he puts thousands and millions of jobs, the president of Mexico, that it's going to provide the TEMEC, the international treaty between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. The president of Mexico just throws that in the trash. He doesn't care. That's the amazing thing. And he puts a red light again to the United States government, as Joseph Lando just gave a statement saying the president of Mexico is lying about all the international trade and treaties that they are going to happen in the international treaty between Canada and the United States and Mexico that is called TEMEC. And also, he is lying about all the past agreements that they're profiting to the United States, and they're not going to be profitable in the near future. Why? Because it's a socialist government. It is not going to be profitable. Our future. It's amazing what Joseph Lando, it's given a statement. Now, what are the complications of this statement of Joseph Lando, the ambassador of the United States in Mexico? What are the complications? These are the complications. Remember last week, I believe last week or 2 weeks ago, not that far away, I talked to you about the American Institute of Petroleum of the United States. Remember that I talked to you about that, the American Institute of Petroleum? We talked about that his name is Jerome Powell, I think that his name, or I don't remember his name. No, it's a guy by the last name of Summers. Jerome Powell is the head chief of the Federal Reserve. A guy named by Summers. This American Petroleum Institute or organization is in charge of 600 oil companies in the United States. 600 only. It's an organization. It's a union. And they are probably putting a lawsuit against the United States government. I will tell you why. The reason why is because they see that the president of Mexico is a threat to the United States of America and to their profits. And I believe them. Why? Because the president of Mexico gave a statement saying that if he had the possibility to sell gasoline to Venezuela, he will sell it. And it's not in the international guidelines profitable to the United States, this decision that the president of Mexico is saying, although Mexico is a sovereign nation and is free to do the decision as they want to, but it affects the international trade. Now, who else? This statement that Joseph Lando just said about the president of Mexico, he is lying. What else, or who other organization it is affected also? It is the National Manufacturers Association of Gasoline in the United States. Now the national manufacturers of gasoline in the United States are upset also with the decisions of Mike Pompeo of believing on the president of Mexico. This is amazing. So they're contradicting now. The biggest companies that they're profitable for the United States, that is the International Association, the American Institute of Petroleum, that holds up to 600 companies. It's upset with the decisions that they're taking with this international trade with Mexico, because they say that it's not going to be profitable. Mexico's turning into a socialist country now. On the other hand, the Manufacturers Association of Gasoline, they are also upset with Mike Pompeo over the decisions that the government is taking on this international trade that they say that is not profitable. It is going to be a lot of complications due to the president of Mexico is lying about the international agreements and international trade and international treaties that they were happening and that they are now happening in this particular time, due to the declarations that Joseph Lando, the ambassador of the United States in Mexico, is saying. Wow. Talking about getting your foot in the mud again and again and again. And I'm talking about the president of Mexico. I don't know where, man. And I don't know how this president he gets in his mind. And I don't know where and I don't know how this president gets in his mind that everything of Mexico, I'm talking about the president of Mexico, how he understands. He doesn't understand the complications and how many jobs are going to be lost if this international trade or international treaty between the Canada, United States, and Mexico, it doesn't go forward. And now Joseph Lando, the ambassador of the United States in Mexico is saying that the president of Mexico is a liar. He's not respecting the trades. He's not respecting the companies that they are in the United States and Mexico. He's not respecting, the agreements. This transformation of his government that is occurring in Mexico is not profitable for the United States. My God, he buried the president of Mexico. He buried the president of Mexico. And it's all true, people. It's not lying. He is not lying. The president of Mexico, he's turning the country into a socialist country. There's 0% increase, for God's sake. It's -1. The economical increase of Mexico. So if it is, nobody wants to do a trade with Mexico now. Nobody wants to do it. You know what is happening? It is happening with the first stage of transformation, like Venezuela. Everybody wanted to deal with Venezuela, and now nobody wants to deal with them because it's a socialist country. It is exactly what is happening in Mexico. Nobody wants to deal with Mexico anymore because they're going to turn into a socialist country. By the way, it is not my fault. Hashtag it is not my fault. And say no to socialism. Hashtag say no to socialism. So it is amazing. Joseph Blandeau, good morning to everybody, giving statements on the president of Mexico, saying that he is a liar and he's not respecting the international trades. Now, in another news, COVID and the vaccine. Who is doing protocols now? Who is doing protocols for the vaccine? It's amazing. Now they're doing protocols. Japan is doing protocols. Germany is doing protocols. The UK is doing protocols. Protocols now. What does this mean? That they're actually implementing a system now for the vaccine. And it is coming. In Mexico, they're doing studies in the National University of Mexico. And they're doing studies for the implementation later on of the protocols of the vaccine. Now, there are side effects, people. Oxford University, they just released that they are side effects. They haven't said which side effects there are in the new vaccine, but they just said, that they are side effects in the new vaccine. That Japan, Germany, and the UK just implemented a protocol. They are going to start doing a protocol for they're creating a protocol for the vaccine. What does this mean? It means that, like I told you before, Angela Merkel in Germany with Macron in France, they are creating an institute for future pandemics. And they're creating, hospitals and institutes for future pandemics. Now, why Germany was the number one to jump on the protocol for the vaccine? Why the UK is one of the first ones to jump on the vaccine, the protocols of the vaccine, and why France is going to be the one that is going to be hosting the international protocol vaccine of COVID, exposing the thematic of the vaccine. Why? Because all of these countries that I just mentioned all of these countries are in this, stubbornness to have a vaccine implemented on citizens. And they know that the future, there's going to be another spread of the COVID between August and November. So they need to have the protocol before the new vaccine is released, that is supposedly in September. Now they're implementing a protocol. Now, the most dangerous thing about this, people, is that not only there's going to be a protocol, but there is a side effect. And they're talking about a side effect that is strongly a side effect. And it's dangerous. I don't know which side effect it is. I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to give news that is going to be misinformation. No, they're talking about a side effect. And this side effect supposedly affects enormously the body. So that is why they are putting a protocol. They're putting a protocol due to the side effect of the vaccine. That is crazy. That is crazy. Oxford University, you're lying to us. You told us, Oxford University. 2 or 3 days ago, I gave the news that Oxford University just found supposedly the cure of the vaccine, and that they were applying this vaccine on chimpanzees that relate a little bit of the genetics to human beings. Now, Oxford University just said that they're going to start doing studies on humans, and around 10,200 humans they're going to use for this vaccine. Also, Oxford University said that, you know, there are going to be ages between 50 and 70 on people from the age of 30 to 40, and from children between 5 and 12. And now, people, a week, days from the news, from the new vaccine, now we have that countries are applying now a new protocol, and they're going to start, implementing a protocol, or documenting, or doing a manual as a protocol to how to handle the vaccine. Why they are going to start doing the protocol in these countries are Japan, France, and Germany and the UK. Why are these countries are going to start doing the protocol? Easy and well said. Easy and if enough and enough said. It is because of the side effect that supposedly the vaccine has. Oh no. So Oxford University said that there was a possible side effect, and now there is a side effect. There is a side effect that they're not saying how strong is it, but they're saying that it's a side effect that affects the body. New World Order. My God. You want to have the people like mummies. Yes. Oh, this is so crazy. This is so crazy. In another news, people, my God, I just can't believe. First, before I advance to the other subject, it is unbelievable how they're gonna medicate us with this vaccine. It is unbelievable how everything is coming out, and I'm personally, as a citizen, not as a reporter I'm talking about right now, as a citizen, I'm not going to let these people, if that vaccine has a side effect, I'm not going to let these people vaccinate not only me, but my son, to give him, God forbid, a side effect that it could affect his life. You have to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. And now they're talking about that there's going to be protocols when you vaccinate yourself. That there's going to be protocols when you vaccinate yourself. You have to be kidding me with that. You have to be kidding me with that. With the protocols of a vaccination. What? They're going to say you got to stay in quarantine for 2-3 days without going out because you just had a vaccine. Your body is going to hurt. The side effect is going to do this. The side effect is going to do that. Holy smokes, people. Wow. In Japan and France, the UK and Germany, they're already talking about a protocol for this vaccination program that is going to start in September, according to the Oxford University, that has 1 billion samples of a vaccine for September. My God, what a casualty. They were talking about, in August till November, there's going to be another spread. Our life is going to change a lot in this 2020, man. 2020 is a year of changes. Not only that, in another news, my God, man, talking about the United States having their hands full with stuff that is happening to this beautiful country that is the United States. And now my country of Mexico suffering with all this socialist agenda. It is unbelievable. Mike Pompeo having a meeting with Mr. Borrell, the head of the EU, of the European Union, of International Politics Affairs, having a meeting with him to just hear this. Mike Pompeo is having a meeting with Mr. Borrell for this particular reason. And I believe that is a great thing that they're going to do, to expose how the democracy from China, it is going to affect the world. How they're going to do this with the program. And why they're doing this. This is why they're doing it. Because China, I believe, and they're saying that they just applied some kind of tariff and it is affecting the economy of Hong Kong. Some to that effect. That is affecting Hong Kong right now. The Communist Party of China. Now, immediately, the United States said, all right, you want to affect that? I will completely go in and expose how your democracy is going to affect the world, and it's affecting the world. So both of them, Mr. Borrell from the EU, from the European Union, the guy that is in charge of the international relations in politics in the European Union, in accordance with Mike Pompeo, both of them are going to be exposing the bad democracy of China. That I believe that it was damn time. That I believe that it's damn time to be exposing these crooks. And the left, I'm going to talk about the left in Europe. This is what the left in Europe is saying. That Donald Trump, the left in Europe, emphasize that. Okay? The left, the politics in the left in Europe are saying that Donald Trump should be prosecuted for the enormous accusations that he gave about calling it the China virus. That it was completely irresponsible. After, look at this. They are all, this is what I'm saying. Liberals don't give up. They don't give up. And I love it, because all the time, the liberals are just in there. They're like, oh, you're going to do this? I'm going in there too. That's how I love it. It's competition. It is not that big of a competition, but they're in there. You know what I mean? They're in there. So after Mr. Borrell from the European Union and Mike Pompeo sat down and said, we need to expose the bad democracy of the Communist Party of China. We need to expose the bad democracy that they're doing. So supposedly they're going to do a program because they're going to help Hong Kong. That China is right now affecting Hong Kong. And immediately after that, declarations of the left political parties that they are, close to China. These left political parties that they are close to China immediately gave statements are saying Donald Trump should be prosecuted because of the statements that he gave, blaming all Chinese citizens. Oh my God, he is a racist. He is a narcissist. He is all about him. Oh no. My God. So these people, they're trying to find justifications for everything. And the most important thing right here is that the government of the United States is working with the EU to expose the bad democracy that the Chinese Communist Party is doing. That is the number one thing that is really important. That the EU, the European Union, with Mr. Borrell and Mr. Mike Pompeo of the United States of America, are finding a way to expose the bad democracy of the Chinese Communist Party. This is, really important. Why? Because to the world, a lot of people in the world do not know what the Chinese Communist Party is doing to the world. And a lot of people believe that this virus and everything that the Communist Party of China is doing, it was not, it was something that it was a virus that it was in a bat and it was in a soup. They still believe that this virus was not, made and it's biowarfare by China to affect the economy, to affect the world. So what Mike Pompeo and Mr. Borrell are trying to do is to expose the bad democracy of the Chinese Communist Party for people around the world to understand what is going on. And I believe that is fantastic. I believe that is great. I believe that, the administration of Trump is not giving up. They're in the fight. They're going to win the fight. And they're not kneeling down to no socialist communist party. That is why. A lot of people are waking up because of the great information that the United States government is exposing about the left and the Communist Party of China. So, we talked about this morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning to everybody. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Negro News and America's Voice. Good morning to everybody. Good morning. God bless you all. We talked about Joseph Lando, the ambassador of the United States in Mexico, saying that President AMLO, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador of Mexico, is a liar, and he's lying about the international trade that is about to happen with the TMEC, between Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And also that he's not respecting past agreements of the economy between the United States and Mexico, that a lot of American companies and the United States of America has invested a lot of money in Mexico, and he is not respecting the agreement. So this ricochet to the American Manufacturers Association of Gasoline, now that they are upset with Mike Pompeo because he's possibly, and also the American Institute of Petroleum, they are both of these organizations that they hold, the American Institute of Petroleum holds more than 600 companies. It's a union. And the the Association of Gasoline Manufacturers of the United States of America holds around the same amount of companies. So this is huge. They are great providers of the economy of the United States. So these organizations are not happy with Mike Pompeo right now because of the decisions that he's taking to trust the president of Mexico, to trust President AMLO, and ultimately to possibly bring him to the White House. That I believe if President Andrés Manuel López Obrador goes to the White House, it's going to be like, sit down, I need to talk to you about what you're doing, and socialism is not going to happen to our country, and you're not going to bring it. So I believe that has to do a lot with the visit with President AMLO, possibly to the White House. So we talked about that. We talked about also about the new protocol that they're going to start applying with the new vaccine that is coming in September. They have a protocol, and they have a protocol. Why? Because they just found out that there's a possible side effect that affects, in a way, the body. So Oxford University last week told us that they found a vaccine on a chimpanzee that relates genetically to a human being. And Oxford University told us that the vaccine was tested and it was a success. Now that we're going to test, they're going to do some testing on human beings. And they're going to be, the amount of human beings is going to be more than 10,000 between the ages of 50 to 70 and between the ages of 30 to 40 and kids between the 5 and 12. Now, they're going to do testing on that. Due to the fact that the results possibly they were not that good, Oxford University released that they were, the vaccine had a side effect. And now immediately the countries that they are supporting, you know, for future pandemics, that is France and Germany with Angela Merkel and Macron, that they're saying that they are making an institute for future pandemics. All of a sudden, this country started saying we need to implement a protocol. So they're saying that they're going to implement the protocol because of a side effect. That is amazing. That is like, my God, having people in camps probably, you know, because you just vaccinize yourself. So Japan, the UK, Germany, and France, they are implementing for September, possibly, when they release the vaccine, a protocol for this vaccine that they're going to put. Hell no, people. If I'm talking like a citizen, hell no, I'm not putting that vaccine on my son. Hell no. If it has a side effect, you got to be kidding me. Like the side effects that, you know, the vaccine for the influenza has. High fever, high temperature, throwing up, nausea, all that stuff. You know, it's exactly the COVID has got to have its own side effect. And I don't know what kind of side effect it is going to have, but right now they're putting now a protocol for a future side effect. We talked about that. And also we talked about how, you know, Mr. Borrell, the person in charge of the EU of international politics, he just talked to Mike Pompeo on exposing the bad democracy of the Chinese Communist Party around the world. So they are going to start implementing a program and exposing the bad democracy of the Chinese Communist Party due to what China is doing to Hong Kong. And now, you know, the United States is trying to, you know, expose the bad democracy of the Chinese Communist Party due to what they're doing, not only to Hong Kong, but to the world, people. My God. Amazing. Amazing. So God bless everybody that is watching. Follow my partner, Conservative Anthony, at his page as Conservative Anthony. Also follow him at Parler as Conservative Anthony, and also follow him at YouTube as Conservative Anthony. You can follow me at Parler now. I'm at Parler now. Everybody's moving to Parler. I am in Parler now as Oscar L. Blue. Look for me in Parler. I will be doing 1 or 2 videos a week in Parler, exactly like this one's, you know, talking about different subjects or different topics. I'm at Parler, so look at look at the name Oscar Blue. I'm sorry for my blah blah blah. Look at my name as Oscar Blue. Find me at Parler as Oscar Blue. Also, you can subscribe to my channel at YouTube as Oscar Blue and follow this video and share it. And like my page and follow my page in Facebook. God bless everybody. I have we're going to go tomorrow. We're going to do some field trip, and we're going to do a little trip tomorrow. So we'll be recording tomorrow. We're doing a little field trip, boots on the ground, to bring you guys something that is truly amazing. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first.